It's been crazy. It's been crazy. But, you have to find a way to stay positive and optimistic and keep going. You have to build the business and continue going on. And, the things that I've decided to do, I think are going to be a great change. I think it's going to be a great change for everybody. And everyone's going to be like, you know what? This is a great way to do business. It's going to make it so simple, So I'm kind of excited about it. I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody back to the Tea with Amie. Today I am here with designer Erin Cole. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, of course, yeah.
It's an honor. I love it.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I started working closely with Amie when I was 23 years old. And so I have been in bridal for a very long time. I actually started in bridal because I was in a really tough place in my life. I lost both of my parents 6 months apart from each other. So things were really, really tough for me back then. And I wanted to be around people that were really happy. So I came in and applied for a job, and the rest is kind of history.
Yes.
So I loved it here, and I did really well and figured out what I was good at and where I thrived in this business. And I loved it. I was in sales for a very, very long time. And I was also a stylist, and did very, very well in that area. And I loved the relationships that I could create with the moms and daughters. And I loved watching their relationships. It really made me happy. So
it is a really happy thing, especially coming from a situation where, you were going through a lot at the time. I think what's such a positive place to be at, to come
so
here
amazing.
And to do this.
Yeah, it really was. And it helped my heart heal. It really, really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah.
So what was that? What year was that you were here?
That was in 1989 is when I started in bridal.
1989.
Yes.
And how long were you here before you went off and did?
I was here for about 7 years, and it was such a family to me. It really was. Everybody, the mothers that worked here, from the mothers that worked here to the mothers that came in with their daughters, and even the younger girls that worked here. I just established such incredible relationships with all of them, and it was just so much fun. It was the best. There was nothing else I could imagine doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you left here, did you go straight into being a designer, or how was that?
The interesting thing was, while I was working here, I did head up the accessory department as well as doing bridal. And I felt like, wow, we're really kind of missing it, because I kept seeing us selling really beautiful dresses to brides and working with those brides. And I kept looking at the accessories we were selling them, and they just weren't lining up to the same level of beauty as the dresses we were selling. Mm-hmm. So on my spare time, when I would get home, I go, I'm just going to try a couple things. And so I bought fabric with the paycheck I had, and the extra leftover, I just ended up buying fabric and just sort of accumulated a bunch of little accessories and things that I thought would look really pretty. And then I just started putting those things together. I've always been super creative. Mm-hmm. And that area I really thrive in. So I kind of just started working on the accessory area, and I built a little collection, and probably about, 70 pieces. And I came in and explained that I felt that I loved my job, but while I loved my job, I wanted to help them make more money. So let's do this. So I sort of presented my collection, the little small collection that I created, to them. and thinking, maybe they'll buy a couple pieces and maybe they'll believe it and maybe they won't. I don't know. Well, they ended up buying every single item I made, which was so amazing.
All the 70 pieces?
Yes, everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was really cute.
That's awesome.
I was really happy that they believed in it and very grateful that right away everything started selling and doing really well. So then I just started building and building and building. But I worked here for a while I was doing the outside work and the extra things on the side. I still worked here, but then as it got busier, I decided to resign so that I could really put my heart and soul into making more creations and designing things that I could really think out and just create a really beautiful little collection. So that's what I did.
Yes. So when was it? Were you working like out of your home for a while?
I started this business right in my home. Yes, in my living room. And I ended up, it started growing, which was so funny because as it grew, the more lunches that kept going in my refrigerator, I was like, okay, we got to get a place. So I think we stayed in my house for a year and we worked out of the house, cutting all the veils and making all the tiaras and doing all of those accessory items. And building all the new stuff, earrings, and just adding on to the collection. So it was really interesting that, we ended up starting in my house. And I think a year later, we decided just to get this tiny little, 700 square foot little place where we could just start growing. And that's what we did. It was perfect.
Yeah. And then you went on to, your accessories and your dresses. They're in a lot of stores now.
Well, so the accessories were first, and I did that business for about 15 years. And then we sold to about 175 stores through US, Europe, Asia, Rome, Dubai, Greece, London, Ireland, anywhere and everywhere.
Everywhere.
We were everywhere. Yeah. And we still are in many of those places. It's just a little harder for us to get to our accounts now.
Yes.
During this time. But yes. So I ended up doing the business, for a very long time. But then I decided I was going to open retail. I wanted to open my own retail because I felt like accessories were going to be great. And I wanted to open a retail store so that I could feel that side of the business. Really, really function in terms of understanding like wholesale to retail and just gaining more information. It was just me always wanting to gather more information.
And so build on what you were having too. It seems like you were just always trying to expand and, better yourself in your business. So.
Yes. Well, and I worked with some incredible designers. Once I opened that retail store, we carried probably 15 or 20 different designers, all at different times. We carried Monique Lillier, Vera Wang, Oscar de la Renta, Carolina Herrera, Ravini, Judd Waddell, Jenny Packham, Peter Langner. So I carried some very, very couture, high-end designers within my store. And I felt like it was just such an amazing experience for me to work with each and every one of these designers. So it gave me some really good insight on, how perfectly finished seams should be and how the interior of a dress should look and how, which way does the fabric need to face and how does the zipper get finished? And I just was able to look at everything. And then not only that, but just to gain that education and understanding of how a garment is assembled and put together and packaged and shipped and tagged, all of those things.
There's so much that goes into it for sure. And everybody does it so differently.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. But gaining that experience was so important to me. And I think it just was a graduated progression of what I was doing.
Of course.
At that time.
Yeah. And then, so you did get into dresses. So you went from accessories and then you started designing dresses. So when did you decide to do dresses and why did you decide to do that?
Well, I had my retail store for about 17 years and that business did very, very well. And I enjoyed it so much. It was an amazing company. As an extension of my own accessory company. And then I decided I wanted to move out of retail because it was taking so much of my time to not only work within the store, but as you know, the weekends are hard in retail. You don't really have a lot of time. And I had kids. So I wanted to spend more time with my children as they were growing and sort of be able to have the weekends a little bit, more. So part of that was that I was spending time in my retail store, and I had a design house also where we did our manufacturing for all of the accessories. So I was really in two places at once all the time. Like I was going back and forth. So it was just pulling on me a lot. I sort of wanted to, just bring it in a little bit and, curate it into where I could design, be with my staff, my design staff, and also, just be in one place, everybody in one place. Let's just be together and not spread Erin so thin. Yeah. So, exactly. And then I knew at that point, once I was closing my retail store, I knew that I wanted to design, and I felt that there was a niche that I was going to hit.
Definitely. And I think if you look at like your dresses, if you look at how you design, I think it kind of fits your own, your own style, and you have definitely a brand, you can see an Erin Cole dress. So what inspires your designs? Because you have this very beautiful kind of delicate feminine vibe about your dresses that I think you capture so well.
Thank you.
And then you can also see like in the construction, it fits that as well. It's just everything is so clean, but also so chic and so pretty at the same time. So
thank you.
How did you develop that?
I feel that in working with all of the designers, they were such amazing teachers in terms of what I knew I wanted to do. And I'm not talking so much like their designs, because I don't want to copy anybody, but just the learning experience of how high should the bust go and how low should the back go to where the dress can actually still fit. 17 years is a long time to experience like what is going to fit well. Getting that experience also from seamstresses and our alterations team was really important as well. I think my style comes from, like you said, my own personal style. I love very modern. I love very chic. I love very things that just fit extremely well and have just an elegance about it and maybe some glamour to it, but I don't like things overdone. So while I might go all in on a beaded fabric, I'll keep it really clean and consistent. I don't add a ton to it. I just make the collection in terms of that particular dress. I'll make it just really clean. So you're getting all of the beautiful glam and maybe a beaded lace or something, but it's all just very, very clean. And I love that style. I think it's I don't know. It's definitely just my style. So it's not for every single bride. Some girls want all the stuff on it. And I think that you can get some of that with me, but I'm definitely a little bit more clean and chic.
It's going to be your touch.
Yeah.
You'll get it in Erin's way.
Yes. And the fun part too is that we can accessorize. One of the things I love the most is bringing the accessory collection over into the bridal collection. So that means things can be detachable. The sleeves can be detachable. The trains can be detachable. You can add streamers to the shoulder, or you can take them off. You can add a huge bow to the back, or you can take it off. So I love some of the capes and just different interchangeable things that can make the brides of today make it look like she has a different dress on when she enters her reception.
For sure.
So the wedding is one thing with the veil and how she looks just really clean and chic and elegant. But then the reception, you can either add or take away to make it have another special look.
Yeah. And also give brides the experience of having a complete look, building their look with their accessories, not just their veil, but how can we get into, like a beautiful headpiece, or with the little added elements, let's add the sleeves like you were saying.
Yes.
There's so much that you can do with that. And I think that a lot of times brides don't get that experience because it's kind of like tunnel vision: dress, veil if I'm going to do a veil.
Yes,
And that's
exactly.
it. We're
And
not
that's it.
thinking about anything else.
Right.
But it is kind of an amazing experience when you can really build everything and you take time to pick every piece of your look.
I love that so much. And it's fun to really just open someone's eyes, because they don't actually, a lot of times they don't know that they can even do that or that it's available. So I love that my collection, if you have a dress here and this dress over here has a cape on it, you can take that cape and sell it with this dress. So I love being able to give brides exactly what they want. So that's really fun for me.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't offer that. So that's definitely a perk of being an Erin Cole bride.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So what would you say, who is an Erin Cole bride?
I think my girl is probably, well, it's funny. I just had a woman who's absolutely stunning. She was like 56 years old, I think. She was really stunning. So she's definitely an older bride, but I think my bride is a modern bride. Definitely very chic-y girl, very hip, very elegant girl who kind of knows what she wants. You know, I think it's a bride that, you know, is between the ages of, say, 25 to 55, you know, depending, and could be older. The dresses are very sophisticated, but they also have a lot of fun flair to them. So if you are younger, a lot of our younger girls choose, you know, some of the trumpets. They love the detachable everything. You know, they love the sparkle, or some of them like the really, really plain with the detachable train, you know, and the, you know, you have the trains that we do, like an overskirt train. So some of the girls love that. But I would just say, my girl is definitely more of a modern bride.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Definitely. And
Definitely.
I think even like the way you do your shape, everything is very refined, you know?
Thank you.
So it's, I would say you would have to be a modern bride if you're going to ask me who an Erin Cole bride is. But I would agree with you. Definitely a modern bride, somebody that really just wants to look very elegant, but also wants those fun touches. It's like a fun, classy, fun, sophisticated, you know.
Right.
I definitely, I think you know, she definitely does know what she wants.
Yes.
So
yes,
being a woman in business, especially right now, that's awesome. What is that like for you?
Oh, it's so funny. Those are the things I hardly ever look at. Really, I love being a woman in business. I think it brings great opportunity for me to be able to continue to mentor. And I've mentored a lot in the past. We've had a lot of the colleges tour our buildings, and where they'll come in for the entire day and we'll play dress up and allow them, you know, to touch all of the things and feel the difference in fabrics. I really love giving back, and I do love mentoring the colleges for the girls. And it's just really an opportunity for me to help them understand that no matter what, just go for it. If you can dream it, you can be it. Just do it, you know? And it's one of those things that I think there's a big responsibility today in being a woman in business, because you have all these younger kids that, you know, their parents have poured tons and tons of money for them to go to college. And then many of them get out and they have no idea what they want to do. They feel like they have to be this big thing over here. But you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, and you have to get your hands dirty. And that's the bottom line. And that's one of the things that I feel like, as a woman in business, I feel like it's my responsibility to share those things. I want those kids to know, like, get over here. I know you can't make a rose. You don't have to make a rose, but I want you to see how I'm doing this or why I'm doing it, and let them get their hands dirty and let them try it, even if it turns out horrible. And that's one of the things I've always told the kids. Even if you think it looks bad, finish it. Finish it. Because you're not going to be able to see what you need to change until you actually finish that. And you can look at it in the beginning and look at it and go, no, this is not working. But if you continue and push through and finish what you started, you'll see, like, oh, actually, this is kind of working. It is working, but maybe I need to do this, and you can tweak things a little bit. So I don't know. I think it's important for me as a woman to just be able to mentor. I love that side.
Yeah. And it shows people too. I think people create such a negative stigma about artistic careers, about how,
Yeah.
right? They totally do. It's always like, I just heard somebody the other day talking about how it was pointless to go to school and to major in art and creating art. And I just thought to myself, like, how crazy, right?
I think that on that note, the artistic side, it's important for someone that if they're going to go for that side and they have that artistic ability, I think it's super, super important to get a business degree. That's, if I could go back right now, I'd just like to do that just for fun, because although I had to teach myself those things, all of the business side and QuickBooks and all the like layouts of this and that, and I had to learn the computer and become completely proficient in Photoshop and Corel Draw and Adobe everything, so that I could, do my pictures and all that stuff. But the whole business side of that, I think it's so important for the kids. If they're going to go for anything right now, go get a business degree. That's going to be your best bet. You can do and learn all of the other stuff later. And if you're artistic and that's what you want to do in your life, make sure you have a business degree so you can take care of yourself during.
Definitely. I mean, I think that's super important too, because there is so much of that stuff where, you can learn that by yourself as well, but it is a little bit harder because I know that is a little more technical, and it's easier to sit and instruct somebody how to use Excel, than it is to instruct somebody how to
cut a
have
pattern.
the talent to, exactly. Or to sketch or to do something like
Absolutely.
that. I saw that video and I was like, what a shame, what a shame that people have this negative idea about this, and they do that with anybody, with women, with men, with anybody. They have this like, well, don't do that. Like, that's a waste of your time. That's a waste of anything. I mean, I think you make a great point about the business of, if you're going to go, maybe do a business degree minor in art, or maybe do an art degree minor in business, so that you get that little bit. But I think what's so great about being a woman in business is that you can show other people, look at my artistic career and look at me living my life and being successful with it. Like, this is totally possible for you.
Right. I totally agree. That's a great,
so important.
Yes, I do too.
To show people.
I think that too. I think it's really important. And I love that the kids, of today, they get out of school. I think that's what I was kind of referring to, is they get out of school and then they're like, what am I going to do? And it's important. You have to just start somewhere. But I feel like it's really important to find something that you absolutely love, no matter what it is. And we're so lucky in the United States that there is an opportunity for us to be able to do that, because in many other countries, they don't have that option, So I feel like we're so lucky. And I think kids of today, they just have to get their hands dirty. They do. I don't think they're, some of them the kids of today are not used to that. They're not used to having that, like being able to just get in there and do it,
But that's part of it.
I learned by practical use, and that's always been something that I thrive at. And so in order to create it, you have to just get in there and do it. You have to. Even if you screw it up, just try.
Just do it.
Just do it.
And finish, of course.
And finish.
So you mentioned that you had to teach yourself all of the business stuff that you know now.
Yes.
Was there anybody that helped you with that? Anybody that like mentored you?
During the time of me just starting my business, it sort of took off like wildfire. And there was really a lot to understand and learn. And I will say that if I didn't know what to do, I would find somebody that did. And so I was pretty lucky in that way, that I had a lot of business people around me that I could ask questions to. And I was so grateful to have that assistance that I needed,
Yes,
so
definitely.
In not knowing some of that information, once you have someone that's giving you the information, you suck it up like like you sponge it up because you don't want to have to re-ask those questions, and you write it all down and you get it figured out. So I didn't have mentors. I just definitely had people that would assist me and go, oh, this is what you did. And so once we started growing, I was able to find, like, do you know somebody who can do the books? You know what I mean? Because I'm not doing that anymore. So we found the right people that worked beautifully, you know, in the business. So it was great. It was great. So you find the people that work the best for you. And, you know, it's great. Everybody that worked for me for at least, you know, between 18 years, 15 to 18 years, my employees have worked for me. So it's been an amazing journey, and we have a great team. So.
And is your team, like, do you work with a smaller group of people, or do you work with a large group of people?
Right now, we work with a smaller group of people. You know, at one time, I had 18 employees when I was running my retail store and had my factory atelier over, you know, off of 17th. We had 18 employees at one time. I'm super happy to say that we've, you know, brought that in a little bit. We've reeled that in, and now we don't have the retail. So it's a little bit, we still see brides, you know, but they're usually wanting custom and they want to do something more couture. We love working with our retailers that are selling the dresses and doing an amazing job at that. And I feel so grateful on that side that the brand of the dresses has taken off. So we're happy.
Yeah. And I think working with a smaller team too I feel like it's a little less stressful, you know?
We've curated an amazing team for sure.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. So I'm really happy with that.
So, okay, these next questions are the fun questions. Okay. So we'll start, it's 3 questions. We'll start with, what would be the title of your autobiography?
That's really funny. The title of my autobiography, I would say it's my memoir, and I think I called it a memoir. It's called The Size of Everything. Yes.
So in case you guys haven't heard, Erin Cole has a memoir. Yes. And it did really well, and it also is it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's been a definite whirlwind. I wrote it and launched it. We launched it on October 1st, which is my birthday of 2018. And 21 days after it launched, it became a #1 bestseller in teenage biographies. Wow. So that was kind of crazy. And then I think like 2 months later, it became a #1 bestseller in about 5 different categories. So it's a story. It's my childhood story, and it's written from the eyes of the child. So you're not getting an adult opinion in any way, shape, or form. You're only getting the information that the child of that age understood at that time.
Wow.
So a lot of people say they read it in like 1 or 2 days. It's one of those books that, you know, it kind of grabs you and like makes you hang on, I think. So from what I've been told, you know, other people, it's hard to like comment on your own story. It really,
I definitely
really is.
Get
so
that.
You'll have to read the reviews to see if you want to chime in on that.
Yes, I definitely recommend. I mean, just from what I've heard, the stories I've heard you tell me over the years are just...
Yeah, I definitely grew up in a very different childhood for sure. And some of the things, I tried to keep it really funny at the same time because that was a really important thing for me. And that's why I chose the co-writer that I chose. She's my bestest, sweetest friend now. We are so close. But we didn't know each other or had never met until the book was 3/4 of the way done.
Wow.
So we wrote the book together, her on her side, me on my side, and we wrote it in Google Docs. And I would do a chapter in 10,000 words and she'd break it down to 5,000. And she's a comedy writer. And that's what I had to have because you don't want to tell a story that's difficult and not have humor in it. You have to have that. So I do anyway. It was really important for me to, you know, have the integrity of what took place in my life, but also for people to be able to see that laughter was my best medicine.
Yeah,
you know.
definitely. So the next question is, what 3 things couldn't you live without?
The 3 things that I can't live without. Well, number 1 would be God. I don't want to have to ever live without God. Number 2 would be my children. These are easy. This is super easy. Number 3 is coffee. And yeah, those 3: God, my children, and coffee.
What a
How's
great
that?
answer. Me, I'm like Netflix. Oh.
That's so cute. I was going to say red wine, but I don't know. I don't want to have to say that.
Coffee / red wine. The red wine is implied.
Thank you.
Honorable mention.
Exactly. The honorable mention. I love that.
That is literally the same with me. Like Netflix, red wine, chocolate chip cookies.
That's right. I love it. That's so cute.
That was so sweet. Okay, so this one, I'm curious about this one. So what is your advice to present and future brides?
I think my advice would be for the brides of today. I know there's so much going on in their poor heads about like when they're going to be able to do their wedding and who's going to be able to come. These girls have been waiting their entire life, for this particular time, and for them to have to just shut it down and not be able to invite the guests that they've dreamed of inviting, for their wedding. It's definitely sad. It really is hard. I totally get it. I think that I would just tell them is, try not to sweat the small stuff. Everything is going to be okay, and you are going to be gorgeous on that day. Focus on your marriage and your wedding, and you guys will live happily ever after. Really, that's
easy.
It is
plain
easy.
and simple.
Yes. Focus on the wedding. Focus on how you want to feel on that day for your groom, because that's who you're marrying. It's super important to obviously have your friends and family there, but right now it's just not where we're at. So,
Yeah.
But maybe in 2021 it will be. I'm gonna say, keep your head to the sky and be optimistic.
Exactly. We're going to manifest that. It's going to be great in 2021.
Absolutely. But
I definitely think that that's kind of the common theme of like what everybody says to that is just don't overthink it.
Don't overthink
it's
it.
really not,
No.
You didn't overthink your answer to
That's
the
right.
question.
That's right.
So it's like, don't overthink this.
And you're going to be so happy. The same. You're going to be the same happy. More people doesn't equate to more happiness. It's just going to be, a smaller wedding, but you will have a great time just the same.
Exactly. And you're going to be getting married, which is the whole point.
That's exactly right. So celebrate that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, kind of on that note, so what do you think is the future of bridal?
Well, I can tell you what my future is headed towards. I don't know all of bridal, like how it's going to go, but I feel that one of the things that's become really important to me is staying focused and staying close to my customer. And what that means for me, I feel like one of the things that I think is changing in bridal is the bridal markets. Something needed to change there because it felt like a little bit stuffy to me. It did. And I felt like I couldn't necessarily just do what I'd love to do at market in terms of having all of the people there and showing everything the way that I would want to show it. What I love is that, and what's changed for me in bridal, is that I've now started inviting my stores to come and see me. Because we are set up like a showroom, just like they are in New York. They have all the designers that are there, they have it made when we do market because they're just where they are and where they live. I felt like I needed to change that for myself as well. And I love where I work. I love my business and I love just the layout, and it shows you who we are. So I feel really happy that we have invited many of our stores out. And they have accepted and come and loved where we work, and they get to get our, see the feeling of our just our layout and how we create things in our back room. They get to see whatever they want to see. And I love that side. So that's one thing that's been changing for me in terms of the future of bridal. I don't know that I have to go to the market every single time and, do this hotel thing. And it just really is so complicated,
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very expensive show to do, and we've done it for years, and I still will go, definitely, but I'm kind of in the process, and my mindset is sort of like, focus on what you do best and bring in people that believe in that and want to see that and grow with you. And that's what like, who doesn't want to come to California?
Who doesn't?
So it's beautiful here, and we've loved, and it feels like it's working so well for us to invite our stores to come and see us. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm changing my platform of how I connect with my retailers. What that means is I've created a e-commerce site that, instead of me doing all of this paperwork and going into Photoshop and creating these line sheets, basically what I did is I took every item we sell, which we have about 2,000 items. It's a lot. I've uploaded that into an e-commerce site, and now the stores can go in there. They have to type in their little thing, and they can go into the e-commerce site and place an order on anything. There's photos. There's videos of the items. So you get really up close and personal. Nobody's traveling right now. So this is the way that I'm going to go forward. I love it, and I'm happy that I'm doing it, and it's exciting, and it's turning out gorgeous.
I think it's definitely probably the future of what's going to have to happen too, because we really don't know, where this stands and where it's going to stand in the next year, 2 years, so
it's so true.
The fact that you're able to make it a little more accessible for people.
Absolutely.
And also, I think you did make a good point about the California thing, because I think California also is like a key part of your brand. Like,
it really is.
You have that California essence to your brand. So I think it kind of just goes with your overall experience.
I think so too. And I love that side of it.
Yeah. But I mean, you did mention market. For people that don't know, bridal market it's
twice a year,
April
and October.
Yes. And I mean, it's all over.
Yes.
Like they do markets everywhere.
I know, everywhere. Well,
everywhere.
And the thing is, I've done the New York market for the last 25 years. I only missed 2 times, one for each kid that I had. So, I mean, it's crazy. I've gone to every single market. So, missing this last one, all of us missed it. I mean, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. But, you have to find a way to stay positive and optimistic and keep going. You have to build the business and continue going on. And, the things that I've decided to do, I think are going to be a great change. I think it's going to be a great change for everybody. And everyone's going to be like, you know what? This is a great way to do business. It's going to make it so simple, So I'm kind of excited about it. I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
new news.
Well, I think that, first of all, thank you so much for coming on today.
Of course. I love it. Thank you.
I think kind of in looking back through our conversation just briefly right now, you have this theme of just keep pushing, keep pushing always.
Yes.
From how you came here. If people listening are going to take something from this and take something from your story, you came here to try and make light of a terrible situation, to try and pick yourself up. And
I
to
found
keep
what
going.
I absolutely loved, which was so funny.
And
who would have thought?
It's carried you, which is it's so awesome. You really have, you've built a great brand. And,
thank you so much.
I'm
grateful. I learned all of my little stuff from my grandmother. She was amazing. She was an amazing seamstress. She was like super into doing all of the just anything creative. She was all in. So that's where I really thrived, was really watching her and gaining some of her information.
Yeah.
So
I
fun.
love grandmas.
They're
Grandmas are
so
always
great.
like
My
that.
grandma was amazing.
Yes. So Megan and I were just talking about grandmas on the last episode.
I love it.
Because we were just talking about how much we just love grandmas. And we were looking at
She was amazing.
we were talking about our grandma's wedding dresses and like the stuff that they were
that's
doing back
so
then.
neat.
Isn't that so
Yeah.
cool?
That's amazing. It's really nice.
Yes, they definitely
good.
there was that spirit of creativity within a lot of them. I feel like back in
Absolutely.
those times, because they didn't have the resources that we had. So it was like,
That's so true.
I
That's
wanted a new
so
shirt.
true.
I had
to make it.
I had 2 nickels. I
Yeah.
took those nickels to
Yeah.
the fabric shop
That's
and I
right.
got me
That's
some fabric and I put it
That's
together, right?
It's just so true.
You know,
It's so
so-
true. So I was really blessed to have a great grandma. She was
Exactly.
amazing.
To pass those skills on to
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, do you have anything going on right now that you would like to let anybody know about?
Well, I always have something going on. So many side gigs. It's crazy. Side gigs galore, I usually say.
A woman of many hats.
Well, I did just finish recording the audiobook of The Size of Everything. So that just finished, which was really like an amazing journey. That was really, really incredible to go back in and actually read, narrate the book in my voice. So that was definitely interesting. So that's available now on Amazon and through all of the different Awe Sound and all of the different avenues that you can go to listen to that.
Listen to audiobooks.
And then we also finished the Common Core Guide for The Size of Everything as well. Because I am looking, because it became a #1 bestseller in teenage biographies, many of the kids have read it through the high schools. And we had some people ask, is there a chance that we could have this for our senior, or our high school curriculum on the English curriculum? So I was excited about that. And so we decided that we would go forward. And Jenna and I, my co-author, Jenna McCarthy, we decided to have someone do a Common Core guide so that we could go to all of the high schools and offer that. And that's what we're working on now. So
That's awesome.
I know, I'm very excited about it. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Great. Yeah. So, and then of course, with your dresses and your accessories, we do have them available here
Yes,
at
of
Mon Ami,
course.
and then you do work out of your store as well for
Absolutely.
customs and anything
Yes.
of that sort.
Yeah, so the brides can visit me or come straight here to you, or you can call me and I'll come and visit your brides.
There
So,
you go. And then on social media, where can they find you?
Oh, on Instagram, it's at Erin Cole Bride. And on Facebook, it's Erin Cole Bride as well, I think. And then I have my regular page that everyone follows. It's just everything's open and available. You can just come on in. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
thank
again,
you so
Erin. It was
much.
so
I had a
fun
great
talking
time.
to you. Yes.
Thank you.
So if you guys enjoyed this episode, if you guys would like to hear more, make sure you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and follow us on all of our social medias. We are at Mon Ami on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok. Until next Friday, we'll see you guys